We can give your tax dollars to them, but we can't give you nothing. That was the problem. That's why we needed to hold their feet to the fire. But Roland is over there splaining, babbling and stuttering, trying to portray himself as a media outlet. Roland, what he does is not media. Roland is a Democrat hoe. Roland is a big, juicy hoe for the Democrats.
Okay, so we all know Roland Martin. We all know Roland Martin and Tariq have had a beef for quite a while, and it's been hilarious. We've covered it on this channel several times, but Tariq Nasheed destroys Roland Martin again for being a paid Democratic shill. He got so much money from the Democrat Party, and he's trying to explain why it's advertising instead of just being paid to get people to vote against their best interests. When we gonna get over this, y'all?
Media buy in parentheses, because that's what the $350,000 was for. It was for advertising. Then, of course, you have these people out here.
Let me hear that again. You got 300 and what?
That's what the $350,000 was for. It was for
$333,000 for this guy, a YouTuber who, by all intents and purposes, he comes from a professional background, but he is not professional. He is obviously in the bag. This is corruption on a whole nother level.
For advertising. Then, of course, you have these people out here. I love the people who run their mouths on social media out here, like, you got Tariq Nasheed tweeting, like, SMH, and then you got Jamal Green talking about, see, he was paid to attack us because we disagree our positions.
What in the hell? Why is Roland out here looking like a big ass game of Candy Crush? Taking the bag from the Kamala Harris campaign. Roland Martin out here gotten $300,000 or so for what? We have no idea. This dude is a clown. It's time for clowns to be exposed, man. I don't know why they thought that would be like a secret or something. All the filings are public. And we all remember this infamous video of Roland getting pulled up on by Jamal Green.
Hold on, give me 1 second. No, ain't no. I gave you enough. I gave you enough pictures.
Old school press right there.
You tweeted about it. You tweeted. You called me dumb. You called me dumb.
He stood behind a lady.
Hold on, give me 1 second. No, ain't no.
I think he got behind the sisters.
Yesterday, you tweeted about it. You tweeted.
She had to break it up. She was breaking it up, really. You gonna put it on. You always talking tough on the show about how you want to smoke. He ain't want none of that smoke in Chicago.
No, that means none of you, including you, Jamal, or Tariq, or any of y'all, even understand that media advertising is actually real.
All right, first thing we got to talk about.
Why he got him up there with a box of Popeye's chicken? It looks so comfortable. It looks so natural.
Oh boy, Roland is splaining. Roland is splaining, ladies and gentlemen. He's splaining about that $350K that he got. Boy, he was on his broadcast just a splaining away. And he threw my name in the mix. He took shots at me by name. Well, y'all start listening to people like Tariq Nasheed and Jamal and them. Y'all dumb as hell. So yeah, he's splaining, because people are calling him out for getting that $300K. As hell, so yeah, he's splaining, because people are calling him out for getting that $300K. And the way he's trying to spin it like, well, he's a media corporation. And a lot of media corporations get money for political ads. He's trying to advertisement. What Roland is doing is not media advertisement, because if you're going to run yourself or portray yourself as a media outlet, you have to be objective. The name of the game is being objective. You listen to both sides, or you give both sides equal airtime or buying time. That's what a media apparatus would do.
And that's one thing Roland never did. He never offered an opportunity to the other side. He never does on his platform. I don't know how he does these panels with all the same person, basically. Dr. Greg, what's his name? Dr. Greg from Howard. And when you do bring a conservative voice onto the platform, they try to attack him. They try to beat him up. So that's kind of the problem with Roland. Roland doesn't understand how to run a show either. So what makes you think he deserved $350,000 from a national campaign? It's ridiculous.
You hear things from both sides and you try to be as neutral as possible. Yeah, you can lean a certain way, but the integrity of a media corporation is having neutrality. You're neutral, or you at least appear to be neutral, even if you're not. Roland is not no media company. He's a shill for the Democrats. So nobody was tripping when we saw he got the money. We already knew. That's the thing. We knew he was getting paid from the Democrats. They kept acting like they were not. The problem that we have is that him and all of the other Democrat shills were going around pointing the finger at us like we were getting paid by somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all must be getting paid by Trump. How much money MAGA giving y'all?
Isn't that ironic? It's always like some type of projection that goes on, because exactly what they're accusing Tariq and other platforms of for the longest, going back 3 election cycles, was getting paid by either Russia or the Republicans or MAGA or whatever. But that's exactly what they're doing. Roland has just proven his own argument that he is being paid for influence, to influence you in voting a certain way. That's ridiculous.
Must be getting paid by Russia, with y'all, your CIA and the FBI giving y'all some money. They kept making all of these little accusatory gestures towards us, asking questions about tangibles. We were very objective. We were on the grassroots right there in the middle. We weren't committed to any party. I wasn't.
Yep.
We asked questions on both sides, and we really got on the. These people are out of touch. They don't know what's going on out here.
And that gets to the core of why they lost. The fact that they interpret the black community in a certain way, especially this recent campaign, like all the twerking and Megan Thee Stallion, it was tone deaf. And it makes me, I'm totally not surprised that they would waste money on somebody from traditional media like Roland. You remember he lost his job unceremoniously from TV1 and CNN after he was given questions to the Clinton campaign, Hillary Clinton campaign, because he was just so loyal to them, and doing, backdoor deals with down in Brazil. After it was found out, and I believe in WikiLeaks, Roland was unceremoniously let go. So it's good that he builds his own company. He comes on YouTube and builds his own platform. But the problem is now you're using the goodwill that you had before, but people haven't forgot about your history. And so they have to take what you say with a grain of salt. And especially now that you're in the bag for a candidate to the tune of $350,000. It's like Kamala got $1 billion and she was like, I'm going to pay all the people that are my friends or connected associates. So, Roland's argument is that, I didn't get as much as BET did. First off, you're not BET. But second off, you want to be judged on that same level as what you have exposed as a black targeted network, not black owned. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think there needs to be something redone here, because if you're genuinely there for your candidate, your opinion should be free. They're not having debates on CNN and then being paid by the candidate's campaign to set it up in their favor. CNN just believes in that way, and they set the debate up to be a little biased. So I don't know. I think it's highly unethical for someone to participate in this type of behavior, accept that money, down to Oprah Winfrey accepting $2.5 million. Like, that in itself should be, disqualifying from us ever listening to what you have to say. You're a paid plant in some ways. You can't ever talk about anybody else's compromise and you did this.
People are out of touch. They don't know what's going on out here. Now, Roland's going to sit up there and splain and babble and lie and do what he does. But yeah, Roland, and shout out to Roland for finessing the DNC. He finessed them out of a bag. You know, they saw that $1 billion, and Roland's like, I'm gonna finesse a couple of dollars. Okay, I'm low key not mad at him, but we already know what Roland is. Nobody takes
Respect the
Roland
hustle.
seriously.
You respect the
But the
hustle.
thing is, he stays in everybody's mentions, always attacking us. He's the attack dog for the Democrats. He's like a little chubby pit bull bully pit. That's his job, to bark at us and try to denigrate us and try to shame us. So we weren't shocked learning about that money that he got. We were not shocked at all. We knew
Not at
this is
all.
what we've been saying all along. Roland is a big old chunky Democratic shill. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. And the Democrats, their strategy was to pay people like Roland and others, because we don't even know where the dark money went. Well, we do know. They
That and others is very important because there are so many people that were just all of a sudden like super Kamala Harris. I can name a couple comedians that we've talked about on this channel before. Do you remember that? They're awful quiet now. Some of them are still popping up like Ricky Smiley and saying stuff. But, you know, the D.L. Hugleys, the Steve Harveys, you can go down the list. All these people that were like fervent Kamala supporters at the exact same time, allegedly. I mean, it was obviously that. Even Charlemagne the God switched on what he was saying. He was actually giving some very down the middle kind of logic to the Democratic Party, especially during Joe Biden's administration. He admitted he was not a fan of Joe Biden. But by the time we get to election time, he's full-throated endorsing Kamala Harris, even though he's also been critical of her. So what's really going on here? Who's really being manipulated? Because they'll easily point the finger back at people online and say, that's misinformation. These people are wrong. But if you're being paid to say something, it sounds like a lot of projection is going on. It sounds like you've purposely put what you're doing onto the people online that are opposed to you.
use some of the dark money for some of these other online marketing firms where they get all of these troll farms to just curse
Right.
us out all day. And that stopped right on November 5th. All of those troll armies that they had online who would comment every time we make a post, we'd get dozens of these bots
Yes.
and these Democratic chill accounts cursing us out. They all stopped on November 5th. Y'all notice that? You don't see none of them.
It had gotten so bad on this channel, like I think my views were affected. And that is a travesty. I don't know what they were paying or what hellified marketing tools they were using, but the fact that Tariq brings this up and I experienced this exact same thing, it doesn't raise some alarm. Like this is censorship. You know, this is how I know they spent, if you look at the FEC filings, the Harris campaign spent so much money on Facebook, millions of dollars on Facebook. And you thought it was just to buy ads like Roland's talking about. No, it ain't just to buy ads. They are paying for positioning in some way. And they are also paying to combat certain things, to have a person that can combat certain things, a contact at the company, if it were. But it's no coincidence that Tariq Nasheed brings up the exact same issue that I was having. All the bot comments. There was a certain series of bots that would come up every video that I posted, and they were the first comments. Now, some of them were in other languages, granted, but a lot of them were actually of an explicit nature. And a theory that I had is that actually that in itself could be potentially harmful to a channel long term. So all my content creators out there, because I've seen it on your channels too, you should make sure to go back and delete those spam comments that are there, because I think there was a more nefarious play. And I'm not saying it's necessarily them. but it did coincidentally start and stop at a specific time.
All of them stopped, which we knew what would happen. We knew that would happen. So, yeah, we're not playing this game where we're going to be politically naive. When these people come around and we know that they're Democratic shills, we're going to call that out. And that person is going to be delegitimized. Roland is delegitimized. Everything Roland says is in bad faith. Because if somebody's paying you, yeah, you're going to big them up. You don't give a damn about the interest of everybody else out here because they've already papered you up.
Apparently not.
Roland already got his paper. He got his reparations with his big old chunky foreign ass. He's not even FBA, by the way. But Roland got his bag, so he's not going to speak in the best interest of everybody else.
Hmm.
See, that's the thing. That's always been the thing. They would paper up the boule class. They make sure the boule class is taken care of. And the boule class, their job is to shout us down and tell us why we ain't getting nothing and splain. That's the boule's job. Their job is to come around us splaining why we ain't getting nothing. That's what Obama would do.
Well, anyway, what do y'all think about that, man? He raised some really good points and definitely destroyed Roland. I mean, like very calmly too. It was a calm destruction. Because Roland, this type of behavior will not be tolerated any longer. I think we've done this for long enough where we have these figureheads in place to get the starts with an N in line. And I think the day of that is done. I think using your voice is a beautiful thing, but when you're compromised, when you're literally being paid for a specific result or for you to talk in a specific way, it's not in the best interest of the country. It's not in the best interest of the world. I don't think people understand that. And I hope you enjoy your $350,000 that you say is for advertising because, unfortunately, the gravy train has stopped. You should have asked for $1 million, like you said. If advertising is such a big deal, why didn't you take them to the bank and get what you were worth? Because $350,000 ain't worth your soul. Shout out to Common. Our hip hop nerds are going to know about that reference. But anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. That way you can stay up to date on all things Faucette Media. Got a lot of exciting things coming for you in the end of the year, going into the new year. This is Faucette Media.